Ultra Reddit presents. What is the greatest design fuck-up of the human body? The knees. For a body part that needs to endure so much stress, they are also very delicate. It's one of the most commonly injured body parts, and it doesn't seem to heal well without surgical intervention. Tear a meniscus? Probably going to need surgery to get part of it cut out, since most of the meniscus doesn't have a blood supply and can't heal itself. Our knees do so much and take a crapload of stress every day. Do one little thing wrong or have one little thing not line up right and you hurt for the rest of your life. They also affect our feet, hips and back when they don't work right. They are easy to destroy on our enemy. It's great that they are hinged so we can walk and run and jump and crawl and all the other crap they allow us to do, but they are weak. After 14 years of constant pain and getting ready for my 8th knee surgery, I have days I wish my docs would cut my legs off above the knees and give me prosthetics. My pain scale starts at a 2. I will never see a 0 again in my life and I'm not a candidate for a replacement. What you're talking about is monophasic sleep, and it really only became the norm during the Industrial Revolution, when society decided that we needed to work for 12-plus-hour stretches at a time. Before that, people didn't necessarily sleep 8 hours straight at night. They kept biphasic or polyphasic sleep schedules, revolving their sleep around the climate and their needs. Many animals are crepuscular, meaning they're most active at dawn and dusk, but sleep through the middle of the night and the middle of the day. This makes sense, as it's easier to avoid the temperature extremes, and humans aren't any different. Even look at societies like Spain, where a siesta was a core part of their culture. Get up, go to work, take a nap in the hottest part of the day, go back and finish your work day. The only reason we are monophasic today is because we have a desire to work 8 hours, play for 8 hours, then sleep for 8 hours, which is encouraged by how our society functions. People who keep to biphasic or polyphasic sleep schedules actually quite often require less than 8 hours of sleep total, because their body learns to fall into REM sleep faster, eliminating the need for as many hours of light or restless sleep as the rest of us get. This isn't an evolutionary flaw, it's capitalism forcing us to do something that's bad for us. Complaining about this is like complaining that our feet and backs hurt when we stand on concrete all day. Yep, we're not designed for that. The human heart. In the presence of coronary artery disease, CAD, and/or high blood pressure, the left ventricular muscle gets bigger, hypertrophy. In response, this is the side of the heart that pumps blood to the body. This is done in order to more effectively pump blood through the system. But with the hypertrophy of this side of the heart, less blood can be within that part of the heart, because the muscle is increasing in size. Therefore, with less space, less blood can be pumped to the body, when this hypertrophy of the muscle was supposed to help blood be pumped more effectively. In reality, it just makes it less effective due to less blood being able to fit in the left ventricle. TLDR, the heart muscle gets bigger when it can't pump blood well. Then it can't pump blood well because its muscle gets bigger. The heart can be really dumb. Source: this is my field of study. 1. Any and all immune system conditions. First fuck up, you have vague symptoms which could mean anything, from the disastrous to the ridiculous. Second fuck up, your doc sends you to the hospital for tests, which all turn out to be uncomfortable for you in some cases, and they are all inconclusive. Third fuck up, your disease has progressed beyond a mildly frightening inconvenience to more serious symptoms, such as altered mobility due to various body parts being numb, cognitive impairment, depression. You have no energy and the life you used to enjoy has now become intolerable. Fourth fuck up, your doc has run out of ideas for what it could be, and he is probably just as miserable as you because they have no answers. Docs hate that. Fifth fuck up, this is the doc's last stand. He creates an unpronounceable name for all your ailments, and lumps them together under the umbrella of idiopathic, which basically means they have no fucking idea. 2. The waste management system doesn't work that well. Constipation, diarrhea, unattractive odors, etc. If you are master of the universe, can't you create a body with a system that has no waste at all? A body which uses every single molecule of whatever you eat, without having to process anything. Right now we have specialized bacteria to process all our food, but those bacteria need to be fed as well. We have helpers, but we have to help the helpers so they do a good job. The spinal column, as best explained by paleoanthropologist Bruce Latimer of Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio. When humans stood upright, they took a spine that had evolved to be stiff for climbing and moving in trees and rotated it 90 degrees, so it was vertical, a task Latimer compared to stacking 26 cups and saucers on top of each other, vertebrae and discs, and then balancing a head on top, but so as not to obstruct the birth canal and to get the torso balanced above our feet. The spine has to curve inwards, lordosis, creating the hollow of our backs. That's why our spines are shaped like an S. All that curving, with the weight of the head and stuff we carry stacked on top, creates pressure that causes back problems, especially if you play football. do gymnastics, or swim the butterfly stroke. In the United States alone, 700,000 people suffer vertebral fractures per year, and back problems are the 6th leading human malady of the world. If you take care of it, your spine will get you through to about 40 or 50, said Latimer. After that, you're on your own. Teeth are fucking stupid. There isn't enough space in your mouth for all of them. They break and wear down too easily. They can't repair themselves, like other parts of the body can. Also, it makes no sense for baby teeth to come in so young. You've barely gotten any use out of the milk teeth before they get replaced, and then they never get replaced again. They haven't kept up with evolution. If teeth were sensible, they would match up with your jaw. They would heal themselves like a bone. They would be more durable. They would refresh themselves in your late 20s/early 30s. And this isn't just a human problem. An animal can easily starve to death because of pain or infection caused by one bad tooth. The recurrent laryngeal nerve, considered evidence of evolution. It's a nerve which runs from your brain to your mouth. Rather than run straight to your mouth, the nerve runs down to your chest, loops through the major arteries attached to your heart, then back up to your mouth. Even in giraffes, this nerve follows the same long journey before traveling to the mouth. The route of this nerve is due to its development dating back to a time before life evolved out of the ocean. This nerve followed a more direct path in these prehistoric organisms, but as they adapted to land-dwelling mammals, the genetic foundation for this detour was already laid. Reminds me of that old engineering student joke. A chemical engineer, a mechanical engineer, and civil engineer having a philosophical debate on what kind of engineer God would be. The chemical engineer says, "Of course God is a chemical engineer. Look at the wonders of the biochemical processes in the body. Surely that's proof he thinks like a chemical engineer." "No, no, no," says the mechanical engineer. "The perfection of the musculoskeletal system demonstrably shows he's more like a mechanical engineer. Without that, we'd be little more than mollusks." The chemical engineer raises a wry smile and says, "Sorry, but you're both wrong. God is clearly a civil engineer, because only a civil engineer would put the pleasure center next to the sewage system. Bah, dumb, TSSS. Offspring that are totally and completely helpless would probably be uncomfortable as fuck. But if my newborn could stand and walk right after being born, like a newborn colt, that'd help a lot. So many things can go wrong in the first 6 months that they're almost safer still on the inside, and you don't have to think about feeding and watering them. If we're given such defenseless newborns completely reliant on us for 100% of their needs, why haven't we evolved something to assist with that, like kangaroos have? A marsupial pouch would free up my arms and hands. Baby wouldn't cry constantly to be held, and my exhausted brain wouldn't have to watch 100 Moby videos only to still rap incorrectly. The retinas, that is the light sensors inside of your eye, are all inside out backwards. They face out of the back of your eye, rather than into your eye. This is why we have a blind spot, because all the wires have to go through into the eye to connect to the outward facing retina cells. Simply flipping our retinas the right side around would create a substantial and drastic improvement in eyesight immediately without needing any more resources for our body to build it or much of a design change. Though if I had a choice to change only one thing about the body, it would be to redesign the spine to better accept upright bipedal posture, which it really doesn't. It's not adequate and cannot handle straight down pressure. The vertebrate spine was not made for bipeds. It just breaks down and starts giving out as we get old. I just learned this little gem last year. Apparently if you don't have any bottom teeth in your mouth and you aren't actively putting pressure on your jawbone, chewing, the bone actually deteriorates. In February of 2018 I came down with the flu and was extremely dizzy. I wound up falling, hitting my bottom jaw, and breaking it in 2 places. The doctors explained that since I had been without bottom teeth for about 7 years at that point, my jawbone was a fraction of the thickness of a normal jawbone. I honestly didn't hit it that hard, but it didn't take much to fracture it. Fun fact, I had just gotten a full set of dentures 6 months prior to the break. Now because of the way the surgeon had to sew me up inside my mouth, I can't even wear the damn bottoms. So the problem is then having our first set of teeth fall out as a child, then expecting the final set to last the rest of our lives. Like WTH, wouldn't it have been better to have the final set a little later in life? Sometimes it seems that there's some not so funny jokes being played on us, like haha. Silly humans think we have it all figured out when we don't have a clue what's really going on. Ever going to correct itself, and I have to be extremely careful if I don't want another break to occur. Teeth. 1. The body should have a mechanism to regrow teeth. Like milk teeth falling are for real teeth. 2. The amount of nerve pain teeth damage causes is absolutely batshit insane. An infected teeth if left untreated can kill you from the pain alone. I mean, if you guys have ever had a root canal infection, you'll recognize that hellish pain. It's a throbbing pain that comes on waves and gets worse and worse. The pain became so bad you often can't even point it out. Your entire jaw starts to throw with an insanely powerful pain, and that pain migrates to your brain, and before you know it just started having seizures out of the blue a couple years ago. Got an unofficial diagnosis of epilepsy, but they cannot find anything wrong with my brain, and I don't have seizures often at all. But when I do, they are status epilepticus. Had 2 in a row, and the first one I had was 7 minutes long. I'm on the most basic of medications at the lowest of doses, and it seems to be doing great. So yay. My brain likes to electrocute itself and not let anyone know why. And before anyone asks or suggests, yes, I'm doing keto. Yes, I've been hooked up to an EEG while having a seizure, and yes, I'm trying CBD oil. Your jaw and head are throbbing with immeasurable pain that makes you want to die.